According to dictionary.com, a prejudice is an unfavorable opinion or feeling formed beforehand or without knowledge, thought, or reason. We must remember that a prejudice is composed by inflexible and irrational attitudes and opinions held by members of one group about another. These opinions can be either positive or negative. In case of the negative ones, it might lead to discrimination and fear. The worst part about it is that it's unnoted by other members because of socialization. An example of prejudice in world history would be World War II, when millions of Jews were exterminated by German concentration camps. On our local level, there are prejudices against gender, race, and social class. When talking about prejudices on gender in Monterrey, we need to focus on all the prejudices against women. These start as a joke, stating things such as women can't work, or they're not even able to drive. But what we don't see is that all statistics point that there is a clear level of discrimination towards women. Even though women got their right to vote in 1953, the idea of the macho man reinforced not only economically and politically, but also culturally the discrimination towards women. Women are only paid 72 cents for every Mexican peso a man earns. According to the United Nations Center of Information, only 7% of the major positions in Mexico are occupied by the women. And even though they form 40% of the working population in Mexico, according to The Economist, they only form part of 20% of the total business activities. When talking about race discrimination, we must mention the discrimination towards indigenous groups. This started with Hernán Cortés, who caused a genocide and made us believe that they weren't smart. A prejudice that has clearly marked their way of thinking is that the indigenous would be great on work such as gardeners and maids. This is owed to the fact that in the 1940s, multiple indigenous groups migrated temporarily to Veracruz to cut sugarcane. In a survey carried out by the CONAPRED, which is the National Council to Prevent Discrimination, 9 out of 10 indigenous agree that there are fewer opportunities to be educated and get a job. 2 out of 3 say that there are nil chances of improving their standard of living and that their rights are constantly violated. 31.13% of indigenous are women and the other 68.87% are men. The only thing that women know before the age of 10 is exactly what are their obligations: fetching water, collecting firewood, help housework and field activities, going to the mill, caring for pets, doing crafts or make jam and fabrics, among others. The last prejudice to talk about is the prejudice against poor people. Even our idioms reflect this prejudice with words such as naco and prole. What the word naco means is indigenous or ignorant that lacks education. It is commonly used by teenagers as a criticism to other people. On the other hand, the word prole that refers to the working class was used by Pau Peña, which is the daughter of the current president, Enrique Peña Nieto, in a despective way. This shows how, even though there is no clear statement of a prejudice against poor people, people still remark that they are superior in a sneaky way. In conclusion, prejudices are not necessarily said in a direct way. They can be hidden in sneaky comments or idioms of our peers. The effect is not only socially, but historically and politically. The most important common ground of prejudices is that they are irrational and lack flexibility.